Welcome Sim fans, Racing 393, good day. Hope you're having a good day at 8:30. I've done another video capture of Simbin's GTR2. On my last capture I did it on a I captured it and then I uploaded it at a stupidly low resolution, like 320 by 640 or something, which does that even exist anymore? And what's the point? So I've done another one. I've done a 30-minute race. I'll try and edit some of that out. I actually finished it this time. It's quite good. It was around Imola, which is around the 2004 configuration, running a mixed GT class. Now GTR2, as I said on my capture, has been around since 2006. As you can see, I'm recording this now after I've done the race. Yeah, so the game hasn't aged. I think it's done remarkable considering its age. You know, 10 years ago, where were we then? Younger, richer, more keen to do stuff. But it's before Xbox One, and we were still in sort of we were still in the 360 era. Maybe the Xbox One may have been in its infancy, or we've known about it. I mean, 5 years ago. I mean, when did the Xbox One come out? I've had it for probably 3 or 4 years now. I can't remember now. So 10 years ago, it must have been in development, or we must have had snippets of it. But we were still definitely strongly into the 360 era. So when you compare, 360 games with this top PC game, this was miles ahead. And then you look at it now, and like I mentioned in my capture, this game's pretty close to Project Cars 2. Sorry, how do I know that? Project Cars. When I say that, I mean the handling model and the way the car feels on the track. It doesn't feel like the car's in the track. I hope that makes sense. So it's not quite floating, but it doesn't feel digging into the tarmac. When the car, when it starts to skid or lose traction, it's very, very difficult to sort of gain control again. It's got it's a little bit like Forza, a little bit, but better. It's better than Forza. Forza is, well, the most recent Forzas are terrible on the wheel. I say terrible, they are playable, to be fair, and when you put the steering down to standard, not simulation, the game is actually not too bad. Obviously the visuals are really good, but yeah, there's sort of the feel of how you're transferring what you're seeing on the wheel to what's going on the track. It's not quite connected. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because Project Cars is a little bit like that. Forza, as I said, a couple of the old F1 games are a little bit like that. You have to start coming up to Dirt 4 and Dirt Rally, and obviously you can't include iRacing in this because that's a constantly evolving beast. But certainly, what other games there have we got that I can mention? Obviously, my favourite, Assetto Corsa. That's how it should be. That's where you can get the true dynamics of the wheel through what you see, what the car's doing on track. But that's not to say GTR is not playable. I mean, I played it for half an hour there, loved it. It's very much, as we know, it's very much connected to Race Room. A lot of the guys that were in Simbin at the time I don't quite know, but they split or they just transferred over. But a lot of them went over to, a lot of the devs went over to Studio 397. And then from what I can gather, my understanding is GTR3 is in development, but by the original, not all of them, but some of the Simbin developers, plus a few others from various forms of sim racing, I would think. Yeah, so GTR3 could be good. I mean, that's not due out until, if at all it still is going to be due out, by, I've got it in my head, 2018. or even 2019. That's a long way off. I mean, it's a lot. As you know, GT Sport's been in development for like forever, you know, and there's so many people saying whether it's actually going to be worth it. I mean, a GT game, Gran Turismo game, will never lose its appeal to race fans. I haven't got a PS4, but you know, it's worth contemplating getting one so I can play that game. But then I need a wheel, and we're not going to go down that fanatic compatibility with PS4, Xbox and PC. I bought the one that was only compatible for Xbox and PC because Fnatic wouldn't confirm whether it would be compatible with the PS4, but now they brought out exactly the same CSO Elite with the P1 rim, but it's a slightly better P1 rim, and it's compatible with all three, and it's cheaper. So who's the mug? I'm the mug. I bought it because I wanted it, because you know I saw various reviews, and I always like the thought of having a Fnatic wheel. It's not a lot different to my Thrustmaster, I must admit, but it has scope, perhaps a bit more scope. But that's only. I think it's only personal preference. I think we're just talking what you actually want out of a wheel. I mean, I personally think that my Fnatic load cell pedals are miles better than what they were on the Thrustmaster ones. That weren't load cell; they're just the conical rubber. Much better. But it doesn't make you quicker; it just makes it feel better. So yeah, I've gone on for a bit of a. I'm sort of giving an overview of my sim racing and my thoughts on my equipment and the game. Yeah, I've got GTR the original as well, but I can't get that running. There's something you need to do with the sort of the INI file, and I can't remember what it is. I'm sure I downloaded a patch for it and it worked, so I had it running. And I believe the graphics are slightly better on that from memory. I think, like the outside graphics, I think the in-car graphics are quite plain. GTR2's got kind of a good overall feel, good sound. The outer graphics are okay, definitely quite as crystal as what they were in the original one, but the in-car's certainly better. And then you go to GTR Evolution, which I think has just, although it feels better to drive, it doesn't look as good. That could be something worth trying out. We might try that on my next capture, the GTR Evolution, to compare. And I might do Imola again, so we can compare the two. And what's after that? And then we could perhaps do a race room one. That's the plan. Sort of, they've got Imola on there, so we can perhaps do a very similar thing with race room and capture that. So we can have 3 lots of Imola with different variants of the GTR kind of spread, if you like. Well, I hope you enjoy the game. I'll try and because I'm going to have to edit it down a little bit. There was a few bits where I was nothing was happening much, but I was chatting away. So I suppose half an hour is not too bad. It's pretty right on the limit of what YouTubers want to watch. Maybe that's too much. I mean, it's like 20 minutes, isn't it? 20 minutes. Most of the sort of videos on there. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. I'll have a look at it, and I'll make sure I try and ensure that it's edited without any strange attributes. Anyway, that's the end of that one. Enjoy GTR2. Remember, it's 11 years old. It's hard to think of that when it's when you look at it. And we'll see you on the next one, which will be GTR Evolution. Enjoy your day. Morning, Sim fans. Racing 393. We're going to redo a capture that I did a little while ago, but the resolution was not changed. We're on GTR2 by Simbin, and we're going to do a although it's 30 minutes, I'm going to do a 30-minute race in a multi GT class around Imola. Now it'll be an edited version. I'm sure there'll be parts where not a lot will be happening, and I think the ultimate goal will be to finish. So I'll do my best. As you can see, I've qualified 9th. I'm not going to do any more qualifying. I thought, I've done a bit of setup changes on the car. One of the important ones here, I mean, this has got like, I might need to, there you go, 18 laps. I'm not going to do any stops. I don't know whether the AI will stop. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I've got soft slicks on all round. And the other thing I did change on here is I softened the springs and took the tyre pressures down a little bit. Because again, the game inherently suffers from like what seems like going into like Tosa and and some other sort of braking zones. The car tends to bounce, and I'm not. I know that the track probably has parts which are bumpy, but I still feel it's a bit excessive. So just to clarify, you can see here that it's split into some different classes. You've got the GT class, which is what I'm in, and we've got this NGT here, and a G2. I'm not sure what the actual terminology would be, but G2. But you can see that they would be classed effectively below a GT class, yet they're putting out some real quick lap times. I'm not the slowest GT car, fortunately, but I'm not far off it. I mean, I've got to make a couple of seconds even to get up here, which I don't think I'll be able to do, and let alone, the GT classes up here, I'm a good 6 seconds off. Now, if I go down to show you some, what have I got here? There's nothing on there. What I'm going to try and do and show you is the difficulty. Was at 97% for the AI, and aggression's at like 20. Maybe I knocked it down to 15. Damage is right up to 100%. We'll see how we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to accelerate the time and let that run out. So we continue to the race now. We've got 17 laps. It's a bit weird. It's got 17 laps, yet I've set it in time. I don't know how many laps, how it knows that 17 laps will be completed in 30 minutes. As in, obviously got a rough idea, but it's kind of weird how they've got it up there. I've still continued in 9th position. And unfortunately the forecast is dry, so it's good. On the last capture, although the resolution was really bad, it was wet, and up until that point I hadn't driven in the wet. But I suppose it was quite hard to see what I was playing because it was in such a rubbish resolution. I should really delete that footage really, because I'm going to put this one on. So Imola in 2004 configuration. Let's go running through the grid. I'm going to be using clutch and stick shift. I'm in a Ferrari. As we come back along the grid here, you'll see, I think that's me on the right. Yeah, number 11. So I'm in the Ferrari. surrounded by a few Porsches. And that's a Seat. I thought that was a BMW actually, and I was looking through the grid thinking, where's that Beamer? I can't see it, but it's a Seat. So I made a mistake there. So quite a neat little feature, as I said before, runs through the grid. We've got a rolling start. I'm just making sure I've got my wheel set right. I changed the DOR on many games that I play. So we will do the rolling lap. Just to get used to the wheel. And I can finish with a cup of tea. Sounds a bit loud for the other cars. Turn my headphones down a little bit. So through Tamburello. I'll try and name some of these corners if I can. I do like having my little knowledge, although I do forget sometimes some of the names. Sure if this has a name. I'm sure this bend here, as you get to the bridge, must be around here, called Villeneuve, and then down to Tosa, like the hairpin. We're on the clutch at the moment, like a real car. A little bit of gas, a little bit of bite. And this bend up here is called the little sort of the right left Variante Alta, I'm sure. Variante Alta. Or was it this one called Variante Alta? The right. I can never remember now. Well, there's one of these bends called Acra Minerari. Can't remember now. Unless it's this chicane might be called Variante Alta. Because there's another Variante Bassa, I think, but that's near the start-finish line. So a bit of clutch work there. Quite tense coming down. The thing is, when you do the rolling lap, it makes it a little bit more hyped up. Like I said in my game, in my intros and things, it's only, I know it's only a game. It's not. It doesn't intend to be real life, and I'm not disillusioned with the fact that I think it is. But it's home racing. Once you get into it, it's very surprising how much you get drawn into how you would race these particular cars around this particular track. I hope I finish this race. So we've got 30 minutes, good weather, 9th on the grid. Try and keep it together. Green flag in a minute, come on. Green flag. Hold tyres, come on.
old tyres. Housekeeping rule applies this time. If I crash on the opening lap, I'll restart. But as soon as I cross that line, wow, he's got no grip. No grip whatsoever. This is not like it was in qualifying. Something's changed. We're going across the lap now, so T11. Heel and toe is never the easiest things to bloody do either. This is always tricky, this one. Oh, he's gone off. That is a pisser. Relegated to the Porsche group. Maybe I should have been in a Porsche. I don't know quite what's happening. Absolutely zero grip. Something's not right. Weird. Very bumpy through there. Try and catch him up at least. in a reasonably well rhythm at the moment, just sort of taking it very easy through these corners. Haven't got it on the brakes. I never know if that's second or third gear, that corner, that chicane. I have no aids on the car, so, you know. Here's the brakes. This Ferrari's rubbish on the brakes. I don't know why. Picking up a few more now. Getting used to the gear changes now as well. Second that time to that chicane. I think third works better, believe it or not. Oh, gonna go wide. He just understeered off. Got the braking now. Is that because I got sand and shit on my tyres? Would that have been simulated into this game back then? Maybe it's the soft tyres. Right, regroup. Understeer like hell. Very bumpy chicane. Not making much progress on these Porsches up front. Third. better. I'm racing with some cars. The grunt of the Ferrari should push me past them now. Ooh. Well, I hit him then. Go. Under braking. Close. Look at all that is in front. And most of that is it? Or Celine. Nearly. Another place gained, nevertheless. And onwards and upwards. Steady. And again, understeer off. Bit inconsistent. Oh, now it's me. And again. Oh no. All that work to get past 3 cars, and now I'll do it again. 17th again, come on. I must have the worst handling Ferrari ever built. Oh no.
The race director has given you a warning for cutting the track.
Yeah, right.
Between the right lanes.
That was my fault. I was actually looking down at my phone. And driving and using the phone, there's a good example of why you shouldn't do it. What is good is the screen build up which is happening. That's quite neat. You can't map your wiper though. Regroup. Get past these slow Porsches. Up to this car again. actually. Right. Which way is he going to go? So much traction out there. I haven't. My car's all over the place. Third works really well through there, on the right line. So what's it, around the outside? No, no, not there. This is the Rivazza. It's a downhill left-hander. It's really hard to stop. You've got to remember, I'm heel and towing as well. It's hard. Sound is awesome, I think. Although that line wasn't. No, that's gonna be wrong. Damn it. He's right there. I don't want to keep going past that thing again. Not even in my same class. It's faster than him. I think going offline actually does make a difference. The game's quite lenient with the old corner cutting, I find, even though the rules are on. Come on. Try again. Problem is, I find, once you lock up, it's hard to recover. Downhill one, it's so hard that is, I always overshoot that. Another on there. Is it locked up? You lose control. I'm actually aching now. Oh, P13. Offline now, so that means the car might be a little bit dicey in the next corner. Still wide. The lead is coming up behind me now. I'll go off. No blue flag, not yet. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know what that was. Might have to let him pass. I'll do it to the next corner out here. And I'll go there. There's another guy there, so not that wide. Lapped by my own class. That rings a bell. Porsche. Good. Stay out of that 13th position. Hang on here, really slow. We're passing again then. Quite know what's going on there. Can't be many laps left. Tiring, I know that. Over me there. Getting a bit hectic. I cannot wait for the new GTR. Hang on. 3 to come out. I shouldn't have been talking. Didn't get hit though. The groove now though. Oh. Was that really on, that move? Was it necessary? Past them again. P12 again. Just locked up on me. Got the same skid marks. I've got 2 laps of fuel left, so it should finish in a minute. It's hard work now. Grip's gone. Too much curve there. What a rubbish lap that was. That was it. So I threw that away, didn't I? So we might as well do a rundown lap, keep it real, I suppose. interesting. I think I finished like 14th or something, or maybe lower. So overall, now this game, as I said before, 2006 October. We're now 2017, almost October. So 11 years ago. And I'm playing it, and to be quite honest with you, when comparing to things like Assetto Corsa, yeah, it's the handling. Yes, it's different, way different. However, the original Project Cars isn't a million miles off. It's not as far as you think. It's got that kind of same feel where the car doesn't feel quite attached to the track. I like Project Cars, and I'm hoping for big things for the second one. But I'm seeing like the sort of the bounciness of the car, the way the steering feels, the sort of the skidding across the tarmac type of feel. Very close. And probably very similar settings, you know, with the GT type of racing and the tracks. The graphics, obviously, they're better. We've even crashed there, look, coming into the pits. Oh, hang on. He's pushing me out of the way. Steady. What's all that about?
Okay, slow the car down.
Trying to. Well, what's happening here? Oh, that's it. Oh, hang on. It takes over, doesn't it? All I've got to do is keep my foot on the throttle. Yeah, so let's have a look. I was a lap out. The best lap times. Don't really look at that. Did that move me? So I did a 151. I couldn't quite break into the 150s. I'm still way off, obviously, my class, but competitive amongst the slow ones. So I can drive a GT car, a slow, as an NGT class or G2. There you go. Anyway, saving a hot lap for some reason. So that's my take on GTR2, a game which is over 10 years old. 10 years. I mean, that's going back into Xbox 360 beginnings, or halfway. How long has the Xbox One been out now? Maybe that's been out longer than I think. Certainly before Xbox One. And it hasn't. I don't think it will age. I mean, I will try some other old games. Say old games. You know, the other games that are sort of attached to this, which are like Race On and WTC. No, what is it called? World Touring Car Championship. Race 07. They're all kind of linked. When you got them on Steam, they kind of all link together. So you load up like GTR Evolution, and you'll get Race 07 load up with all the other add-ons. It is quite good actually, but bear in mind the previous, sort of the newest version of this game, what sort of derived from this game and the subsequent race games, is of course Race Room. So there is a similarity there. It's Sector, or was it Studio 397, and this is Simbin. I know Simbin went to Studio 397, but then Simbin have formed, or some of them, and perform. And I'm going to develop GTR3, which is again a simulation of the FIA GT series, which will be good. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed it. At least you can see it. At least I finished, and I will see you again on my next video. Have a good day.